Well, good evening. I'm meteorologist Kit Thomas here. Chief Meteorologist Trevor Burchett is off for the rest of the evening. After a very active day of severe weather, he came in earlier this morning to help out our morning meteorologist, Daniel McDonald. And now we are on sort of a cruise control for a couple of days. Everything's going to be nice and easy. We've got more sunshine, but the temperatures are going to be a little more dynamic in the next several days. So let's get into the details of that forecast now. As we're taking a look out over Midtown here, or from downtown, from Midtown over downtown, there we see a few showers starting to show up on the camera. This is on top of the Southern College of Optometry right there in the medical district. So still plenty of rain possible this evening, but things are starting to quiet down and we're not really quite as rowdy as we were seeing earlier today. Right now it's 63. We were talking about the high today maybe being around 75. We weren't there in the afternoon. We were technically there just after midnight, still in the 70s, holding over from yesterday. All the clouds came in and kept us really warm, but then when the rain came in, it has kept us chilly through most of the afternoon. So all of us are in the 60s here in the Memphis area, but we still see 80 degrees out there ahead of the front. That's out there towards Atlanta right now. Paducah at 49 degrees, 43 in St. Louis. So you can tell there's a colder air mass behind this front. It's not going to quite get that cold just yet for us, but we will see those temperatures dipping overnight tonight. Take a look around the area. Dyersburg, the chillier spot right now at 53. 63 here in Memphis, Holly Springs, Oxford, Tunica, Clarksdale, and Bolivar, all right there at 63. Forest City left you out there as well. So overall, it's a pretty mild evening, but this is actually our average high for this time of year. So we've been very warm. We've gotten used to this early taste of spring. You'll hear us sometimes say we've started spring, we haven't quite started spring. There's technically a couple of different starts for spring. Meteorologically, we look at the start of the month for 3-month periods. So March 1st all the way through May 31st, that is meteorological spring. But most of the time, we're referring to the astronomical seasons that are more specific to the solstice and the equinox, and those are sometimes those dates can shift either with the leap year or with subtle changes in the orbit. So that can lead to a little bit of a discrepancy. But meteorologically, this is spring weather for us. And this is what we would normally expect, at least on the extremes with the heat we've had recently. It's also very humid out there. We've got pretty high humidity. Those dew points are going to drop over the next couple of days as that colder, dry air mass pushes in. So you'll need a chapstick there for Thursday and Friday. Then as we head into the weekend, temperatures start to warm up and more humidity comes from the south. Dew points jumping back to the 50s Saturday and Sunday. Then they drop again as we go into Monday. We're looking at dew points in the 20s. The good news is the weather alerts have been canceled around the Mid-South, but we do still have a couple of tornado watches and a severe thunderstorm watch across the Mid-Atlantic states there and across Louisiana, some severe weather out in that direction. But everything's starting to calm down this evening. As we look at satellite, you can see that we've got some pretty intense clouds across East Texas, right here on the backside of the low. This is where we've been seeing the jet stream sort of dipping south and then curving back up to the north and then continuing on towards the northeast. So that dip in the jet stream there is leading to the shear, the upper level change in wind speed and wind direction that can lead to the tornadoes. And of course, that's why we've got that tornado watch all the way down here into southern Louisiana, this area here with that tornado watch. Meanwhile, we're just under everything that's getting blown off the top of those storms and all of our rain in our area. As you're looking a little bit closer, you can kind of tell right where that cold front is. You see that line from around the Paducah area. Grab the right tool here. From around Paducah through Little Rock, you can kind of tell right there that little line of showers that are moving through. That is the cold front pushing in and beginning to bring some of a little bit of an enhanced band of precipitation right now. And there is just a little bit of that moisture ahead of it, quite a bit around the Clarksdale area. So we'll zoom in here. Phillips County, Quitman County, some decent rainfall coming down right now, but all of this is non-severe. That's the good news for us. We'll keep up with the non-severe weather around the area over the next couple of hours here. We've had a lot of rain though today. Looking at those temperatures, we've seen the radar accumulated rainfall here. We can see we've had about 1.33 inches here in Memphis. about 0.8 there in the Holly Springs areas, maybe about 3/4 there. Most of the heaviest rain has been sort of in the southwestern quadrant of our viewing area so far. So let's take you through this forecast as we really start to wrap things up tonight, and then tomorrow things clear out very quickly and it stays pretty dull for the next couple of days. Lots of sunshine though. We have been pretty cloudy to start off this week, so at least we end on a sunny note. So that's some good news for us. So taking a look at our headlines, of course, we're clearing out soon with the rain tonight and with the clouds over the next couple of days as well. So that'll be good as we look at those temperature swings ending the week, because of course we've got a cold front coming in. So that's going to drop our temperatures tomorrow. But it doesn't really push all the way through. It just kind of pushes to our south, hangs out, stalls out, and then lifts back to the north as we go over into the weekend. So we'll have more sun on Saturday and then rain on Sunday. Kind of the reverse of what we had this past weekend. We had a decent amount of rain on Saturday this last weekend. And then as we go into early next week, that's when the things really change and we get a big drop. So let's take a look at some of the surface features. I've put on the cold front, put on the pressure systems as well. And you can see the area shaded in yellow and green. That's the Storm Prediction Center outlook for severe weather. We have been trimmed out of it. We're done with any severe weather for the rest of tonight. That high pressure continues to push in, and notice that we've got more of a northeasterly breeze as we get to around midday tomorrow. So of course that brings in the cooler air around the area. And then as that moves off towards our south and then moves a little more towards the east, that'll actually sort of reverse things for us. We'll reverse that and get a little more of a southerly breeze as we head into Friday, so that'll help us warm up. You can see there's a little bit of convergence in those winds there from the Ohio Valley down to the Mid-South and out towards the Red River Valley there in Texas and Oklahoma. That's a weak front that stalls out. It doesn't really make it all the way through. It kind of just stalls and then turns into a warm front as it lifts to the north. So that's actually going to help us warm up as we head into Saturday. Saturday is going to be nice and warm. We're back in the 70s. It's going to be a beautiful day then, but we've got another low pressure up here that's starting to move in, and that's going to bring us a chance for some rain on our Sunday. So Sunday around 4 p.m., we've got a couple of scattered showers here in what's called the warm sector, ahead of the cold front, behind the warm front. This is where you can get some deep convection sometimes. This time, I don't think we're going to see very deep convection. Most of it is going to be isolated to the cold front. So as this front pushes in, it's going to be pushing under all of that warm, moist air. You can see a little of the moisture there from some of the showers, but there's not enough upper level support. If you have just open convection where you've got a lot of upper level support, that can just start convection in the warm sector. We don't really have it this time, so we need something to give it that punch, and the cold front coming underneath that warm air mass will lift it over the front, and that's how you'll get the rain behind the cold front. And that's likely what we will see on Sunday. And that's Sunday evening, so the first half of the day, at least at this point, looks like it'll be decent weather for us. It's still on the mild side. Don't trust how far south this snow is getting. The thing is, it tends to be a bit of a cold bias model here that we're looking at, and it tries to throw that snow just a little farther south. But it is going to be a chilly start on Monday morning, so we can bank on that. Looking at the 7-day rainfall totals, sometimes it takes it a minute to load this in here, but we are going to see some rain. It's just not going to be a deluge anymore. We've sort of broken up this pattern now as we get into the end of the week of day on, day off of rain. Since Saturday, we've had 3 out of the last 5 days with rain around the Mid-South. As we get that next system, though, it's probably going to bring more of the heavy rain to eastern Tennessee and across the deep south. It's just not going to have all of the juice wrung out just yet once it gets to our area. And some of that heavier rain across the deep south is what's coming tomorrow from the stuff in East Texas right now. All that to say, rain is ending tonight. Everything's going to be dropping down a little cooler, so around 40 degrees. We're not getting into the 40s very soon, but it will be into the overnight tonight. I should say 30s. We're not getting to the 30s just yet. We'll be getting to the 40s overnight tonight, and we're looking at 50s tomorrow afternoon. This is only about 5 degrees below average, but it's the first day below average we've seen in a while, in fact. So sunny and chilly tomorrow. We'll see some of our temperatures across eastern Arkansas. mid to upper 50s around the area. So Blytheville 54, 57 for Marianna, Helena, West Helena. That'll be a similar temperature across most of northern Mississippi, maybe getting a little bit closer to 60 for like Batesville, Oxford, that area, but not quite to it. I think Jackson will be in the low 60s. As far as Jackson, Tennessee is going, though, it's looking like mid 50s for us up here. And looking at your 7-day forecast, temperatures are warming up very quickly. It's just a cool day tomorrow. We'll be back to the upper 60s, about 5 degrees above average there Friday, and then 70s there for Saturday and Sunday. Remember, we were talking about that warm sector. We've got the warm air in place on Sunday, but the cold front is coming in late. So we will be warm enough, but that could help the moisture convert into some showers for us. Maybe a rumble of thunder, still a little far out to sea, but it looks like temperatures do cool off quite a bit early next week. We could even get another freeze on Tuesday morning, a low of 31 degrees there. We'll be talking about that in just a little bit. But of course, we've got a lot coming up right here on ABC 24 Weather Impact Now. We're taking a look out over Midtown where some showers are rolling in right now. We'll be right back after this. ABC 24 is limited to about 6 eyes to keep an eye on the weather, but that's why we ask you to be our weather watchers. And of course, we've got our ABC 24 Weather Watchers Facebook page. Let's take a look at our Facebook Weather Watcher photo of the day. This is from Donna. This is a duck called Goose. I once knew a bear named Otter, but of course we see the water is out there. We've seen so much of the rain lately. All of the waterfowl are certainly enjoying this rain. I hope you are enjoying it as well. I'm a gardener and my onions and garlic are also loving this rain. So if you have any plants, any animals, any kids that are out there enjoying the weather as much as we can with the rain, be sure and you scan this QR code. You can join our Facebook group and you can share any photos that you get, any videos as well of the weather. Of course, earlier this week we had some awesome pictures of lightning as well. We've seen flowers in bloom, so always appreciate sharing sunsets and sunrises in that group as well. Moving right along, let's take a look at the almanac from today. Of course, temperatures were up to around 74 right at midnight. And then temperatures have fallen through the day. We were at 63 at last look at the current temperatures. So that low is actually going to keep going down, possibly even up to midnight tonight. It's one of those weird days where the temperatures are falling through the whole hours of the day. But 63 is our average high, 43 is the average low. Pretty warm day so far, even though it's been cooler by comparison. And over the next couple of days, we are looking at a cooler day tomorrow, but then by Friday, we start to warm back up. We're back above average. That'll happen again into Saturday and into Sunday. But as we get into early next week, Sunday night into Monday, temperatures are going to fall well below average. Take a look at this here. Average high for today is 63. We're going Thursday about 5 degrees below to 5 degrees above on our Friday there. Then into the weekend, we're about 10 to 15 degrees above normal. Then we take the plunge again as we head into early next week. The temperature outlook looks like it's going to be on the cooler side of things, so we're keeping an eye on that next frost, that maybe freeze that we could see. Average last freeze is March 18th, but we might have it a couple of days after that as we go into early next week. We're looking at temperatures, maybe a frost here on Monday morning. And as we get to Tuesday morning, our forecast is bringing in the potential for a freeze just barely across the Mid-South. So we'll keep an eye on that. Keep an eye on your plants over the weekend as well. Maybe get a cover to cover them up as we get some freezing temperatures early next week. We'll be right back on ABC 24 Weather Impact Now.